Hello, let's do connections for Saturday, August 16th. Alright, I'm seeing tissue paper, construction paper, toilet paper. I don't see a fourth one. I don't know what shellac is. Shellac, is that what that is? I don't know what that is. It could be a type of paper, I have no idea. Fortitude, grit, rolling, crush paper. Crepe? I know you roll crepes. Is there any sort of paper involved with that? I'm not sure. So I don't know what to do with that one. You have grit, you have fortitude, you have resolve, you have pluck, like you're plucky. Sure, let's try that. Intrepidity. Intrepidity. I don't think I've ever even seen that word before. You have upgrades, you have repairs, you have construction, so maybe it wasn't the paper thing? I mean, work could mean that, like you have work to do, but that seems very generic. I don't want to do that. Is rolling paper a thing? Rolling paper, rolling. Doesn't sound right. If it wasn't the paper thing, what would toilet be going with? Things you flush? I don't know. Or what's crepe going with? I'm not sure if I've ever had a crepe. Is that shellac? Like you shellac something? Like man, you really beat them, you shellacked them. Am I going crazy thinking that's a thing? Shellac. So if that's true, that would go with crush, maybe. And you route. And you cream, that's what it is. You cream, you shellac. I didn't know that's how that was spelled. I don't know if I've ever seen it spelled. Shellac. Route and crush. Okay. I just had to sound it out a few times. Trounce. We still have repairs, construction, upgrades, and work, but we also still have toilet paper, construction, and tissue as types of papers. So one of these is wrong. I think it might be the paper one that's wrong because I don't see these other ones being paper. And even if it was, what would the other category be? Is rolling paper a thing? I don't know. But then you'd have work, repair, upgrades, and well, why would crepe be going with that, right? So if this was a thing, rolling, tissue, crepe, and toilet. That doesn't make any sense either, so I'm not sure what to do here. And it still doesn't feel like work would go in that category. I mean, you're getting work done. I guess, I don't know, it kind of makes sense. Let's do it. You know what, let's try it. Okay, that is it. Renovations. I always view work more as a verb than a noun. Like you're doing work. But I understand that it's used the other way too. It's just, I don't know. I just don't view it that way, generally speaking. So I just had to convince myself that that's what they were going for. And then rolling, tissue, crepe, and toilet. Is this like paper? Was construction just a fifth option? Kinds of soft, lightweight paper. Rolling paper. What is rolling paper? Rolling paper. Oh, it's like to roll your own cigarettes and stuff. I've never smoked, so like that's not something I've ever thought of. But now that I hear rolling paper and see it, I know what it is. I know what it means. I know I've heard it before. Okay. And then crepe ended up being paper. It's a type of tissue paper characterized by its crinkle and puckered surface. Oh, I thought that was like the food crepe. Am I going crazy here? I didn't know that was a type of paper that has nothing to do with the food. Okay. And that is how you spell crepe, although it's usually spelled with like an accent over the first E. Okay. Alright, I just didn't know that those were types of paper. I mean, now that I saw rolling paper, I know what it is, I know what it means, and I get it after the fact. I didn't know that it was crepe paper. Is that even how that's pronounced when it's pronounced for the paper instead of the food?
Crepe paper.
It is still crepe. Okay. Alright. Well, that's a new one for me. Streak's up to 28 straight days. I think it's only like 6 days from my all-time streak. Yeah, oh, well, it's right there. It's 34. Yes, 6 days away from my all-time streak. So if we make it to next week, and we set an all-time winning streak here. So, stick around. All right, let's check the bot. Actually, no. I forgot to check what score they gave it. 2.2 out of 5. Yeah, that feels about right. It was kind of easy. Okay, now let's check the bot. 66% solve rate. The biggest category is losing. Interesting. I mean, it's still only 2 out of 5 difficulty. But still. Whenever I see that the biggest category is losing, it still feels like it should be at least a 3 out of 5 in that case. 1 in 29, that's a little unique, considering I didn't make any mistakes and I got purple last and yellow first. Seems like that should be a fairly common game. I mean, that's not very unique, but for a perfect game on an easy puzzle, it feels like it should be lower than that. So first, everybody, well, not everybody, but the biggest category by far is getting yellow, then green, then purple, then blue. This one's a little slangy, and it's using kind of, I feel like words that aren't really used all that much anymore, like shellac. And even those of us who have heard the word shellac don't know how it's spelled. I think I said shellac. Let's check ever. So green overtakes yellow forever. You know, you see construction. If you test the paper and you test construction with paper and then that doesn't work, you can pivot over to green and eventually get this one. And then a little bit of a drop down to blue. Again, that's kind of the slangy one. That doesn't surprise me. Let's see what's going on down here. Biggest game, winning game is blue last instead of purple. Then regular rainbow order. Losing games, combo of like green, yellow, or nothing. Just purple and blue, as always, giving people trouble. Let's check the mistakes. Construction paper, yeah, there it is. I was thinking this, but I didn't try it because I didn't know crepe paper was a thing. If I did know that was a thing, I probably would have tried this. So not knowing crepe paper saved me a mistake there. Putting rolling in with win decisively, I mean, you can be on a roll, you can be rolling, but that's more of like a winning streak sort of thing. It's not really crushing an individual opponent. It's not quite the same context as these other ones. These other ones are more used to like refer to one team crushing an individual other team, whereas rolling is like one team's on a winning streak against multiple other teams. Party supplies, not knowing what shellac is. Does shellac have another meaning? Or is this people just trying paper and not knowing what the fourth one is and just throwing one they didn't know what the word means in here? Grit paper? Yeah, people just not knowing the fourth paper, I'm guessing. That's what a lot of this top part is. 4 of the top 5 mistakes. Also, some people not knowing what the fourth yellow one is, yet resolve, great fortitude, resolve, great fortitude, resolve, great fortitude, resolve, great fortitude. What was the fourth yellow that they left out? Pluck. Yeah, pluck's kind of the odd one out there. And in fact, I only really notice it or know of it as plucky. Like you're plucky, but you could also have pluck. I feel like I maybe heard that, but the much more common phrase or usage of the word is saying, you know, somebody's plucky. And then just a lot of guessing between blue and purple down there. So yeah, the winning streak continues. If you're enjoying the videos, please leave a like, subscribe, or follow, and let me know how you did today.